Hello everybody and welcome back here to High Button Sports as we get set for our next game here at High Performance as game 3 for the U14 female group. We've had 2 games so far, a tie this morning in a defensive battle, and now we're here for the late game as we're getting set for puck drop. Game 3 of 4. So we're officially moving to the back half of these games. And let's get right into it. Is Powder going to pick that up? Play that back over to the line there for a Cleary. Up the wall, Powder looking for that puck. Purple. It's going to be Dorian who pushes that up ahead. Off the stick here. Beside me, Sweeney. Sweeney tried to help get that out, but it's worked in by Berthume. She'll look for that puck, grabbed and spun around down low. That's going to work its way around the wall. Picked up now by Stockley. Stockley, she'll head out over the red line. Going to have to wait for that tag up, and now it's back the other way, Berthume. Back in behind the net. Riley Bishop. Bishop, she'll have plenty of time to move that as the purple team changes. Now it's into the feet here along the wall. Shot off the end board. That ricochets to the opposite corner. Purple there to pick it up. Coming in early here, trying to get that puck centered. Moved in around here for Stockley again. Sent back to the middle. Henneberg looked to get that out, gets cut off. McDonald, and a player down there. Rough. Purple has to tag up. I think that was Mitchell who went down. Skates off to the bench. Now pushed by Powder as they try to work it over to their end for the first time this game. Flip it off the glass. Kind of fall into that puck as it gets steered in behind. D'Entremont in around the end boards. Little chop play there by Cormier, and now it's 2-on-1 the other way. Purple trying to pass that across, and a defensive play there by Paige McKenzie to just stifle that one right in its tracks. What a look there, taken away by McKenzie. Pulled in behind here, McPherson. McPherson cuts back the other way. McPherson over to the left side. Moved up by Cormier. Cormier finds the winger. Off the end of the stick there, McCurdy-McAdam tried to pick that up off the change. Didn't have a lot of momentum skating there, so kind of knocked off her stick. Back over. Purple trying to go for the change. I think maybe there you want to just stay out and make sure that puck gets low. The puck's near the bench. Then you shove that to the middle and barely onside. Linesman elected to say that one was good as it's near the benches over there once again. Picked up here by Dort. Dort. Up the wall. Sent back in. Poole. Poole over to the right side here for Dort. Back down in behind the net. Monroe. Plays it around from the corner. Picked up. Shot off the feet. Right side. Monberquette plays that in along the boards. McKenzie around. Grabbed by McCurdy-McAdam. Purple holding the zone here to start out this game. And a little tip there as it rolls off the stick. Hustled after hard by Brow. Back to the line. Shot through traffic. Patted aside with ease. Purple, though, still on that puck. Blue chasing a little bit here in their own zone. Worked around by Brow. Heads to the opposite corner. Trying to flip that back in front. Skated after. McKenzie down in on the end boards. Wyand now. Wyand in around. That's going to wrap the end boards. Come back the other side for McCurry McAdam. Off the boot there. Comes down. Trying to stick with that. Brought back over to McKenzie. Ricochets off the shaft of the stick there. Sent back to the end boards. McKenzie now picks it up. In behind her own net. Little touch pass. That's kept in nicely there by D'Entremont. Caught right up to that puck. Monroe now. Monroe trying to send it up. A Purple holding this blue line. Steps in. Shot. Scores. And a beauty there for Danny Kickham. And she'll put one into the back of the net with a nice move to the left side. And then back of the net there off the, what we would describe that as a snipe on McClellan. And I think the bench was impressed by that one. And it's hard not to be. Purple just coming out hot here and finishing that one off early. Just about 5 minutes in. Puck skated back to center there. Along the right, Gillen in the feet. Purple picked that off. Kickham tried to play that back to the middle as the pressure remains here for Purple. To the blue line. Walking the line there. Shot not going to make it through. Powder trying to catch up to that. Turn back down the other way. Mitchell. Cut off. Trying to get that through once again. Picked up by Turner. Turner. Into the feet there. Kickham. In behind. Sear. From the end boards. Gets handed off there. We play down the left side. That one's hustled at. Purple going to grab that. Cormier shoves that to the middle of the Betts. And just onside as it moves back in behind to the right side corner. Played out in front, on and off of the stick in a hurry there of Betts again. Betts from the corner to the line here for Cleary. Cleary tries to shoot that through. Powder catches up to it. Trying to find some open space out of the zone here finally. They'll get it here on the left side. It's brought into the zone by Barber. Barber gets cut off of it. Down here in front. That's going to be played over the red line. Now down over the blue line here on the left side. Picked up by Betts. Betts tries to feed that ahead. Hustle after is Bramwell. Bramwell from the corner. Pushed to the middle. Grabbed by Dorian into the skates and now back the other way. Stockley from the outside. Shot. Able to get a good shot off there. Save made as that one snagged out of the air. Face off on the left side. Puck dropped in. Henberg. Worked that into the corner. From out of there. In amongst the feet. Cleary. Cleary trying to go up the wall with it as Bain works it back and around. Cleary. Sorry, that was actually Dorian who got that clear out there as it moves up through center. Into the feet. Grab now by Bain. Bain will circle it back. Bain up the wall with it down here in front of us. Fed up ahead. That's picked up over the line here by Henneberg. Into the feet. Shot scores! And Powder gets one back as they muscle that puck over to the right side, right on the bottom of that circle. And it's fired through. Gets by Van Oorschot. And we've got a tie game once again. 12-14 to go here in the first. It says second up there on the clock in the X-Auxiliary rink here, but we know it's the first here on the High Button stream, so 1-1 the score. So a game this morning that was 1-1 total. Now we cut to later to the night, and we've got a goal on each side less than 8 minutes in. Worked around from the corner. Brow trying to get it out. Picked up down there by Bishop. Bishop. Pushed in the right side corner again. A board battle for that. Comes up to D'Entremont. D'Entremont shoots that in and comes down on a weird angle. Has to be padded aside. Powder looking for that along the half wall. Cleared out of their zone. Couple bodies over there. Still tied up as it comes free. There to Brow. Pardon me. Touched up for the Powder into the middle. Grabbed there by Gillen. Gillen down here in front. Gillen grabs it on the other side. Gillen steps in. Tries to go for the cheeky one through the legs. Just rode that blue paint and stayed out. Now Powder back the other way. From the right side and offside. And they kept it with a late one. And that was a tight call. I don't know what my thoughts are on that one, but a little lucky break there for Purple. Face-off will be here in the neutral zone. Oh. Puck dropped in here on the left side. Kickham, who's got the goal for Purple, trying to move that up the right. Jansen with the shot. Nice save there as it's covered up as Mitchell fires the shot on. Hits the chest protector and glove down. Puck dropped in and that one hits off the leg. In behind, it's McKenzie. McKenzie up the wall with it. Cut off along the half wall. Flipped on back in by Poole. Purple trying to hold the line here. Poole with it. Shot through traffic. That one snared out of the air once again as we near the 10-minute mark here in the first. Puck. Grabbed here by Monroe. Monroe gets it as far as center before it's picked up by Larade. Larade brings it in onside here on the right. She'll cut back as it's turned over back the other way. McCurry McAdam. She's on her own here heading down the right side, shaking off one check. Back over for Sire. Now turned over, and it's back the other way. Kickham. Kickham. Crossed the line, but knocked off the puck. Going to have to reset as it's knocked back in. Powder going to pick that up as we break into the second half here of the first period. Back. In behind, it's Gillen. Gillen with a strong game last night. Wrapping that around. Finds the puck through the middle there. Behind the feet. That heads into the zone by Turner. Turner over to Stone. And it's Cormier. Knocked on back. Played across, trying to get that lead pass in amongst the feet. Swung back through. And over the line here on the right side. Here comes Barber. Barber down. Barber finds the lane. In over the blue line. Barber, backhand. No one home there to pick up on that one as it moved in front of the net. Powder just trying to get some sustainable pressure here in the offensive zone. It's come at a premium for them here this period. Cut back around by Stone. Stone in behind for Turner. Turner Along the end boards. Cross to Cormier. Sent back down. Rubbed off against the wall there. Trying to play it in front. And Powder had it for a moment, but it comes off the stick just as quick. Now it's Purple. Over here to the right side. In over the line, Bramwell. Along the end boards. Brow tried for it. Instead, it's skated out here by Stockley. Stockley across the blue line. Back on through. Here comes Dort. Over the head, Dort. Cut off along that wall. Working up the right side. Henneberg. Kicked back. Over to the right here again. Powder. Stockley. Stockley down from the corner. Played out in front. Misses. Back to Bain. Bain. Shot. Rebound in front. Wide open. And can't quite get there. That one rolled right onto the stick. They had to work quick and just missed it. Back on through. Bain. Over to the right. Rimmer. Trying to move that up again. Picked up by Berthiaume now. Scholl. Play it down the right side. Back and behind. Bain. Trying to get that out. Rolls off the stick. Off the pad. Now loose in front again. Shot. How did that one stay out? Kicked aside as netminder was down. McClellan, but stays out. Flip back here in front, McClellan. Play it over to McDonald. McDonald down and behind. There's Rimmer. Back and behind once again. A lot of time spent here on the right side, but the score is still 1-1. Up ahead with it. Cut off there with the active stick of Tess McDonald on Team Purple. Picked up, sent down. That should be an icing, but waved off. Now grab a little body contact there, shaking it off. D'Entremont, the D, down low. Played out in front, rolls off the stick. That'll bounce right out to Flora Black. Black, try to get that up the right side. Hustled after, picked up by McDonald. McDonald shoots, save made there, and loose for a moment, but picked up with 5:47 to go. So line changes there for Powder. Lots of players out here, remember. There's little quick math. 4 full lines, 4 full D lines, and 3 goalies. So that's why we play these long extended periods here, is with 4 lines rotating on forward and D. Really got to find your minutes and make the most of them out there. Up ahead, that one flipped on back here in front of us to Paige McKenzie. McKenzie over to Munro. Munro starts to stick handle. Moves up the right side, cut back in. Back in behind for McKenzie. Up the wall, trying to get that to Black. Fed across, that one's going to be off the mark there for McPherson. She'll have to cut back in. To Poole. Brought in over the line, McKenzie. Larad on the end boards. Hand it off there to Kickham. Back down along the end wall. Larad, sorry, Kickham. Back to Poole. That gets it behind her, and now it could be a chance. Black. Not much on that one as it heads into the end boards. Tried to flip that back in front, trying to hold the zone. They do for Gillen. Gillen, though, loses it. Back down here in front the other way. Mitchell. Mitchell shoots that on, and it will be covered up as they get reset. Face off on the right side. That gets to the corner. Trying to feed that out. Back to line for Turner. Not going to do so as it's Gillen now who goes to defense there along those end boards. 2-on-2. Under 4 to go. Back to the line here. Hand it off to the left side. On and off with a stick of stone. Backing around those end boards. Powder. Sweeping at that puck. Purple coming out with it. Working their way around. LaRade tries to get that shot through. From the corner. Picked up by McCurdy McAdam. Gets as far as center. Now grabbed by Gillen. Lost it. Purple. Down the left side. Chop that. Play in front. It gets knocked off. Bramwell in behind the net. Bramwell plays it up the wall with a nice pass to Turner. Turner elects to go back along the end wall. Sire putting some pressure on. Flip back over. That one's fanned on. One chop, and that'll fly over the head and out of play. As they got to chuck that back into play. No mesh here along the sides at X. That one was a projectile, but it's thrown right back on. And just to pump my tires once here, one time years ago, I did catch a puck that was flying at our camera mid-game. And still think about that one, you know, at least once every 2 days or something like that. Played down here in front. Brought in over the line here on the left side. Quick shot by Powder. That one goes wide. Off the stick of Dodge. I think it got tipped on the way through. Dort. Down here in front. Bain. Wrapped in around here. Now back on the stick of Sim. Good at rushing that puck up ice. Gets it all the way down into the opposite zone, but it's quickly picked up there by Bain again. Trying to push it up the half wall. Back in behind. Puck slides under a stick. Hustled after, and icing will be called on that one. I think our first icing of the game, if not one of our first few. Good pace here to the first period. Minute 43 to go. Face off here. Puck back to the line here for Cleary. Tries to put that through. Hits off a shin pad. In along the end boards. Here comes Henneberg and passes that off there to Stockley. Stockley across the blue line. Stops up. Stockley stick handles back in behind. Picked up and now moved ahead. Purple. They're going to have some numbers back the other way here with a late chance with a minute 10 to go. Breakaway shot. Scores. Lots of numbers heading back the other way as Lydia Gillen fires that one through on the breakaway with a minute and 8 seconds to go. Back to center we go, and a 2-1 lead. Has some celebrations over there on the purple bench. Working hard this period, and a minute to go. McKenzie. Packing around for the corner. Gets brought up by Kickham. Powder trying for that. Kickham. Gonna grab it with 50 seconds to go here. Gets that pass off. Chop that. Stays in the zone, though. Going to be left there for Turner. Sorry for D'Entremont. Back in behind by McKenzie. Now, grabbed here in front. That one's brought in over the line, tries to hand that off, gets chipped up in front of us here by Kickham. Now, taking the long way around. Henneberg. In over the line with 9 seconds, maybe one last chance. Cut off there, though, by Stockley. And with 3 seconds to go, that'll take us to the end of the first. So a late breakaway goal by Purple restores their lead. Back for the second in a moment. All right, everybody, welcome back for the second period as the U14's back at it here. 2-1 lead here for Team Purple. They had a real strong first period. Going to see if they can follow that up again. Played in along the end boards. That one's backhanded over to the left side, trying to move that up by Lance. Lance brings it in, handing that through, but good defensive play there by McPherson. Moves down into the right side corner. Pucks in the feet again. Pulled out of there with ease by Bramwell. Bramwell brings it in over the blue line. Bramwell down the left side. Shot ricochets off the stick. Fed back out in front. Chance here, and quickly on and off the stick of McPherson, but it got knocked on the way to the net. Fought for it and along the end boards. Trying to play that up again the wall. It's flicked up ahead by Gillen. Gillen tried for his shot. That one, a lot of power on it, but ricochets before it can hit the net. Purple setting up some more. Played in around. Shot the length of the ice. And icing waved off there. Puck comes back down here in front. Worked in the other way by Monberquette. Monberquette trying to play it out in front. Backhand. Up the wall it goes. Stone in behind again. Bain. Swept at. Bain. Shot. Oh, and I think if this was a game, that could have been too many, but tryouts, they'll let it go. Backhand across. Slow it up here for Carson. Trying to get that through to McCurry McAdam in the middle. Grabbed and worked the other way. Here comes Gillen. Gillen to the outside. Gillen, shot save. Back down low to Cost. To the line, and it's chased in behind. Keys is going to slow it up. Keys out of our net. Something we haven't seen a ton of through the first two games. All the goalies have been pretty glued to the blue paint. Not taking any unnecessary risks. Chance through there, and that rides up a stick, I think. Something like that. Pushed over to the wall. Now moving up ahead here again. DeCoste over the line. It's a 2-on-1. She has help, but not able to find that stick. They jump into that puck here on the right side, trying to feed it back through. Onto the stick there of Bishop, who's got a nice white stick out there with the white tape. I'm not really one to notice sticks, but the fully whited out will catch my eye. Down there in the right side corner. Back to the line here for Bishop. Bishop likes to fire it in off the glass and behind. Held, as that's moved off the exterior. Back to the blue line. Back and around here for Stone. Stone trying to get that out. Kept in there by Brow. Back and behind. They get tangled up. Sent the opposite way back to Keys. Trying to flip that up the wall. It's caught up too. One-on-one potentially forming here down the left side. Powder with it. Going to cut to the outside was Barber. Barber working around that end boards. Picked it up. Has the pass over. It was kind of in the feet there of Dodge. Not able to get that clean. Have to keep those feet moving. You never want to have the feet planted. Even if you're in a spot you think you could get a good shot going, you got to have those feet moving. As someone's got momentum and they're skating at you, they're going to have that advantage every time. Played back there in front. Try to backhand that in to the blue line. Shot. Slowed up. Ricochets to the corner for Lorade. Lorade. Sent back in, bouncing puck. That one's loose. Oh, and a real good look there again for Purple. Picked up by Dorian. Dorian over there to Cleary. Cleary up the wall with it. Bounces off the stick. In behind. Puck will work up the wall. Dorian, shot, gloved there, and we'll get the whistle after a moment. It's 5 minutes into this one. Puck down here in front. Cross the blue line. Try to hand that off. Don Tremont looks for it. Chipped out. Cormier. In from the end boards. Past the stick of Keys. Sweeney tried to get it, help get it out. Moved up ahead. Picked up by Stockley. Stockley looking for an edge. Stockley in on net. Stockley all the way around. Scores. Ties it up at 2. And we got a brand new game here. 6 minutes into the second. And I think Lund maybe wants that one back. Was covering it pretty well, but then started moving and puck just slid right by her pad. Not a lot of room to shoot at, but gets in behind. Puck dropped in now. That runs near the blue paint. It'll come back in the opposite way for Cormier. Shot off the pad. Picked up now by Sweeney. In through the middle for Stockley. Stockley looking for more. Stockley from the outside and can't get the shot off that time. Almost had the back-to-back. We haven't seen anything like that this week yet. Played to the middle. Quick shot on. Goes wide. A nice look there for Henneberg. On and off the stick. Little chip play back here in front. Into the feet of Monroe. Monroe gets that back to McKenzie. Sweeney. Don Tremont. Over to McDonald. Tess McDonald. Looking to flip that to the middle. Rolls up the stick again. Across the blue line. Stick handling in over to the right side here. Lance shot high and wide. Comes back down for near McDonald. Along the end boards. Mitchell tried to get that back out in front. Picked up, moved to the right. Bramwell back in behind. Slow it up for Sire. Bouncing puck off the pad. Grabbed out of there. Now over to Poole. Poole shoots. Save made. Back in on the end boards. Leading play over to the left side. Grabbed by Poole. Trying for it. In over the line. That'll be sent down to the end wall again. Picked up and worked around by McPherson. Powder able to get a whack at that. Now turn it back the other way. Shot steered aside as that went off the stick of Lance. Near the middle. Lance now. Shoots. Fans on it. Back in behind for Poole. To the end boards. DeCoste. Trying to flip that out in front. Dort. Amongst the feet again. Puck picked up over the blue line. Cut off along the wall. Shot back over. Now to the end boards. Good hustle there by McCurdy McAdam. Don't think anyone's going to dote her hustle. 11-11 left to go here in the second, so we're nearing the halfway point in this game. Good flow to this one, probably the best flow so far. Shot. Steered aside. Into the right side corner. Purple trying to pick that up and work it around. It's down here in front of us. From the left side, Dort. She'll get it pretty far, but then it's eventually stopped. Powder looking to go up the half wall with it. A couple shoves in there as well. Grabbed. McKirby and McAdam. Great hustle play up to the right. Stops up. Waits for the handoff. Whacked at. Back in behind here for Turner. Turner stops up. Flips it over there to Brow. Push to the middle. Brow. Over to Gillen. By Gillen. Up ahead, and now Gillen with some good handles. Gonna bring that in. Gillen in on net on her own to the outside. Save made with the pad. A diving play there. And best save of the game there goes to Adelaide Keys. Followed that puck well and able to pad it aside off a quick rush there as we break into the back half of this game. Powder pushes it to the middle. Shot back down. Grabbed here again. Over the line. Heads to the left side. That one's down low there by Rimmer. Back in near the end boards. Picked up by Purple. Shot back down around. Stone with it. Stone with a little chip play. That one gets down here in front of us. And will be caught up to by Monroe. Monroe. Up the half wall. Picked up. Pushed up the left side. That puck's brought over by Kickham. Kickham trying to push it to the middle. That's a free puck as the Purple side was changing up their defense. Whacked at. Icing waved off. Fed up ahead. Nice pass there off the end of the stick of Dorian. Over to the left, brought in. Purple in on net again. Deking. Oh, what a pass there in front. Good play, but can't find the back of the net as Cormier just fanned on it. Now off a shin pad. Powder trying to work it the other way. Purple pick it up. Betts. Betts from the corner. Grabbed here, moved up ahead by Henberg. Henberg to the middle. Backhand. Moves off of it. To the half wall. Push to the middle. Henberg. Two on one there. Purple sticking with that as it gets shoved in along the end wall. Bounces out here for Cormier now. Cormier. Little whack at it. Back the opposite way. Here's Sire. Sire. From the wall. Broken up. That bounces right back onto the stick of Black. Black. Up to Lance. Now over to the right side. Toe drag in there. Gets broken up. Up ahead. Picked up by Sire. Now moved across for Rimmer. Rimmer. Broken up. Pushed through the middle. Trying to come in at that with speed. As Betts brings it in. Betts backhand. Near the wall. Comes out near center. Again, Lance. Trying to play that up. Lance. Poked at. Comes back into the zone here by McDonald. Trying for that. 6:13 to go. Fed to the middle. Pulled up on the stick there. Shot from the ringette line goes high and wide. McDonald looking to swing that back in front. Picked up here by Dort. Dort across the line. Dort hits the side of the net. Wyand looking to get that out. Locked back in. Picked up now. Here in front of us. Free puck for a moment. Quickly jumped on by Tess McDonald. McDonald, the defense, working her way up. Over to the right side. McDonald. Down in near that end boards. 5:13 to go as they start to get tied up. Usually the refs let that go, and they will there. It took an extra second. Purple plays it out in front. Luckily right onto the stick there. McDonald for Powder. Powder now trying to get this to the outside. Here in front of us. Work down, cut off the puck. To the half wall. Off the stick. Drop back in here by Berthune. Trying for that. In near the end boards. Rides up the half wall. The cost. Fed ahead to Wyand. McCurdy, McAdam. In along the end wall again. Slowed up by D'Entremont. Little shoots, sharp angle shot. We haven't really seen a grade A chance here in a moment. That bounces off the stick and back in behind. Shoved up the wall here now, trying to catch up to that puck and move it the right direction here for Powder. Still a 2-2 game. Pretty much more even period here in the second. I would give Purple the advantage through the first. Down along the end boards, Barber played out front, shot, scores! And Barber finally breaks through. He's been playing good this tournament through these tryouts, but hasn't been able to find the back of the net, and that one slid on by. 3-2 now to score. So Powder, if I'm not mistaken, their first lead of these tryouts was 1-1 earlier. Last night, I believe, it was 4-2 finish for Purple. So Powder now playing into the third period of this game, up a few. McPherson. Flipped over by Larade. Picked up left side. That one shoveled in behind. McPherson trying to go up the wall with it. Back onto the stick there for Dodge. Sent back in around. It's stepped up to, and Rimmer plays it down low. Back in along the end wall. 2:30 to go here in the second. Puck gets knocked down the left side, and that will be an easy icing call. 2:20 remaining. Puck back near the blue line. Shot goes wide and behind. 2 minutes to go here now. Hawk loose there on the right side. Try to knock that through. D'Entremont. Pass connects there. Now moving to the right side. Little chip play to themselves. Stockley. Try to cross the line into the right side corner. Picked up now, led here in front. Bramwell grabs it over the blue line. Bramwell down the left side. Pressure as we approach the final 60 seconds here in the second frame. Game number 3. That one's shoved up. Won't be enough for icing, so it'll be a foot race to it instead. Picked up here by Stockley. Back along those end boards. Fed back in front now, slowed up. Bramwell tries for it again, and instead Sear will get it. Up ahead, Black over the line, 40 seconds, Black shoots, that one's tipped wide. In along the end boards. Picked up by Stone. To the half wall and fire back around. 21 seconds now remaining. Dort. Pushes it to the end boards again. Keys able to get that around 8 seconds, so maybe one last rush here. Down in front. 3, and clock will run out as 3-2. Powder going to take their first lead of these tryouts into the third period. Back in a moment. All right, everybody, we are back here for the start of the third period as our final one for these U14s for the night. Remember, one final game tomorrow morning, but one game after this for the U16s, but this will be it for the 14s. As 3-2 the score, Powder trying to hold on to get their first win of the week. Purple with a quick shot on. Back the other way as we are about 45 seconds into this one. On a nice summer's day out there in Antigonish. As we prep for our finish here for the night. Puck dropped in there, and it's going to be fed off into the end boards. Purple picked that up. Feed it back to the blue line off a shin pad. Now it's going to get worked back the other way here. McCurry-McAdam tried for that. Gets sent back in instead by Rimmer. Lead play down here in front. It was swept that. Knocked away. Whoa, and that one came close to the camera. As close as we've seen it here so far. Down along the end boards. That one's played around. Leading pass off the stick there by McCurry-McAdam, and icing there, right call. As that was slightly before the red line. Want to thank everyone for tuning in here for another game on High Button Sports. As we roll right through high performance, and I was doing it in my head, I do believe this is the fourth year for us here at High Performance, so always a pleasure to be here. We obviously thank Hockey Nova Scotia and love working with them over the years. High Button's only been around streaming for about 6 years, so to have 4 summers spent here, just an absolute pleasure for us. Also, I never went to St. X, so I'm getting the half experience here in the middle of the summer. Puck brought in down the left side. Worked in here for McPherson. McPherson. She'll move it up ahead. Across the line, that's going to be sent into the end boards. McPherson. From the corner, looking for that puck. Little, tried for it, sent back in around, wraps up the boards here to Poole. Poole shoots. Heavy shot as that hits the end wall and bounces off the other side. Played out in front again. Poole. Down here again in front. Now looking for a lane. Up with it. Barber from the outside. Tries to slide that one low. Just goes wide. Turned over there. Oh, man. And little relaxed with that puck as it gets moved up through the middle now. Down the right side. Picked up by Henneberg. Broken up near the wall. Turner. Over the blue line. And that gets sent in near the end boards. It's Sear. Near Stockley. Hustled after. Big strides coming into the zone there. And falling down to the end boards. Looks to be okay. Puck amongst the feet now. On the half wall. Feeds out. Back to Sear. Sire mate, perhaps, I could go with. Push to the middle. Grab now for Stone. In behind. Trying to move that puck out was Gillen. Cut off here down in front. Sent down by Turner for Purple. into the end boards. Slowed up there along that wall by Sim. Look to work it in front. Broken up. Brought in over the line. Stopped it once more. Trying for that stick lift. Walks the blue line. Picked up now. Worked in around. Bounce back to the middle there for Lance. Shot back into the end wall. Cleary now with it. Cleary. Down here in front and gets by the linesman. The lineswoman and goes for the icing about 5 minutes in here. We'll head back down the left side as Powder trying to extend that lead. Player down there. Sorry, the linesman goes down. Right back up, though. Got to keep it moving as it's sent down into the end wall. Wrapped around for Flora Black. Trying to get that up ahead. Instead, it's in behind. Purple starting to push here now from the inside. Puck not going to go, though, as it's battled for him behind the net. Little whack at that, and it started up ahead. Here comes Black. Black. Flora. Black to the outside, looking for the shot, and just not getting enough on that as it steers through the blue paint to the corner. Now grabbed. Brow. Chipped back in behind for Rimmer. Up ahead. Quickly onto the stick there, though. Back into the zone by Kickham. From the corner. Back. Shot. That one on. Rebound in front. Purple walking away at it. As Jean Power needs to stay strong. That one, she got to it with ease, but the rebound was there for a slight moment. Now that one sent down. Won't be enough for icing. Purple. Back in behind their own net. Pokes at that up the half wall. Sent back across. Down here in front. Puck gets up on its side. Icing waved off at the last moment there as Monroe with it now. Monroe. Past the feet. Over here by D'Entremont. Shot stopped. Off the foot again. On the end boards. Flipped up the wall. That's grabbed by YN. Now on the end boards again. Off the skate. Fed back in front. Onto the back foot now. Circle back around by McPherson. McPherson over here to Poole. Down in front. Bramwell across the line. Now onto the stick there. Betts. Shot not going to make it through. From the corner. That gets worked up amongst the feet. Poked at. Swung back around. Over there by Monroe and looking for that lead pass through the legs. Shot on, and we'll get a whistle. 11:49 to go here in the third as the flow of this game is pretty solid back and forth. Puck dropped in now. From the left side. That one gets freed up. Held on to and circled back. Handed off there by Barber. Shot down low on the right side. Stick goes flying and almost into the net. That's not going to do it, though. Grab now here in front. Monberquette. Monberquette down the right. Takes out the evaluating referee. Maybe a good lesson in there somewhere. In behind the net. Comes over to Gillen. In near the end boards. Sear. Played it across to Barber. Barber. She'll bring it in over the line. Barber down the right side. From the corner. Kind of tied up a little bit. And it'll be shoveled out near center. Turning on the Jets and bringing it in over the blue line now. Slowed up. Whacked at. Burchum tries to get that through. She will. Broken over the blue line. Down for the right side corner. Henberg shot, steered aside. Tied up 2-on-1 along the end boards. Two on two now. Flipped up the wall. Picked up now. A little chip play by Carson. Fed back to the blue line. Ooh, almost touched up. That one is going to be delayed icing as we cut into the back half of this third period. Down here in front. It's going to be moved and played back. Instead, turn over here to Burchum. Shot off the stick and a good save there to keep the lead. That one had looks for the top left corner, but power there to make the stop. Backhand in behind. Bain looking for it. Bain with a little shove there. Rimmer helping. Played back over, Dorian. Lorade. To the end boards. Taking her time. That one going to be sent back to the line here. Cleary, she keeps it in. Into the feet. Poked away at a crucial time, but kept in on the line. Sent back in behind. Back around for Sweeney. Some shoving down there in the corner. Fished out. Back to the blue line. Shot. Pushed to the end zone, to the end wall by Bain. Leading play. Chipped up ahead. Brought in over the line. Betts. Betts to the outside. Betts. All the way around. Back over here to D'Entremont. D to D, shot, that one jumping off the stick and coming loose there as they have to stay aggressive on that. And a nice play there by Carson as it moves to the half wall, now back down by us. No icing. Chased after, Tess McDonald with it. Tries to shove that to the middle for Betts. Picked up, back in over there, Rimmer gets it along. Into the corner. Lance holding it down low there. D'Entremont tried for that. Just off to the middle. Now near center. Rimmer hands it off. Back in behind. 7 minutes to go here now. Trying to get it up the wall. It's held. Played back in front. Nice job to keep it in, and they're just going to elect to play that along back on the end boards. Time ticking away off the clock. Powder. 1-on-1 down there along the end boards. Picked up. Here comes Purple. Lorraine. Sorry, that's Bramwell. Bramwell with the move. Bramwell hands it off in front. Shot stays out. And the best look of the period there for Purple. Back in front. Bramwell can't collect it. What a chance there as we near the end of this game. Picked up down low by Bishop. Bishop now trying to get that out. Maybe some fresh legs needed here for the Powder side. Purple trying to pick it up. Push to the middle. Dort sticking with it. Dort down here. Over there to Bishop. Now to McCurry-McAdam. To the end wall. Now picked up. Shot. Slow it up here in front. Off the shin pad. McCurry-McAdam looking to get that up ahead. Nice muscle move there. Staying with it. Knows how to use that size to create space. Good skill, especially at this level, to have in your back pocket. Back in behind there, McPherson. Push to the middle. Grab now moving down the right side here. Gillen with inside 5 minutes to go. Purple wrapping all the way around. Fed out in front, broken up. McKenzie tries to get that up ahead by Gillen again. To the middle, puck loose, it's under the pad and covered up. That puck was bouncing around there, but it stays out. .440 to go. 1 goal game here on a Tuesday night. Puck chipped up the right side. There goes Barber. Barber holding in front. Barber in and loses it at the last moment. Maybe eyes lit up looking at that net. She made it 95% of the way. Down here by Mitchell. Picked up again by Barber. She's using her teammate as a shield as they work it through the neutral zone. Kick 'em. Looked for it. Instead it's back over there to Dodge. Back down to Barber. 4 minutes to go. Barber. Back in behind. Dodge. Worked in on that end boards. A little back and forth as it's worked in. Leading play, hits the feet. That jumps on back for Gillen. Gillen to the inside. Now down the right. Another move. Gillen shoots. Goes wide. Good hands there to create that chance. Back to the line here for Sear. That's going to exit the zone, and Stockley will have to reset. Stockley holds. Back on side here now. Worked across to Turner. Brought down low. Henberg tried for it. Right side half wall. Back to the blue line. Push to the middle. Player down. Looking for it again. Over to the left side. Hustled up, but broken up there as Mitchell gets it back to the neutral zone. 2:30 to go. Hand it on back. Cleary. Down here in front. 2:16 now. Knocked off the stick, and it'll be covered up, but they're going to play it. So we're just trying to bleed that clock with 2 minutes. Gillen fans on it. Played out in front. Onto the stick now. Hanneberg. All sorts of room. She'll try to cut through the middle. The two defense there, Cleary and Dorian, cut it off. Back to the line. Rolls under the stick. 1:43 left to play. Up ahead with it, over the blue line. Down the left side. Played across, rolls under. Back up ahead with it. Under 90 seconds now as the time just ticking away. The Powders played a pretty solid third period here to this point. Purple trying to use any steam they got left. Back down in front. Now 1 minute to go. Purple with one final push here. Dorian trying up the half full. Gets in behind. Bain over the line. Bain backhands. Down low to Cleary. McDonald. Over there by Bain. 37 seconds remaining now. Played across. Powder holding the zone. Shot. Rebound comes out. Can't quite get there for the backhand. 26 seconds. They skate over that one. Down here in front by Brow. Back in behind, Bain. Bain up the wall with it. That's going to find McDonald. McDonald flips that puck up ahead. Across the line there, Black. And with 1 second to go, that will do it. So Powder gets a win here. And it's 1-1-1 records for both teams as we head into tomorrow. Thank you for watching this one. We'll be back with the U16 female shortly.